Amy, and I'm going to show you how to put together your triptych display. This is how everything's going to come, and there is an instruction sheet in case the video isn't good or if you don't get a link to the video. So you just want to cut everything open. Your banner holders and your sewing hooks. So everything is here. If you have any question of what you're supposed to get, double check against your instruction sheet, and it has the quantities and pictures of everything you should have. Now, the part you want to be careful with, you want to make sure you're working on a clean surface. So if your floors are kind of dirty, you might want to use this packaging to kind of shield it. Inside you have the core board display and your banners, which are taped to the box. So let's get the banners off if you're interested in this side. But you need it to be upside down to actually put it together. So if you need help,
which do you need help? Okay.
Well, here. And first what you want to do is there's these weird little holes right here. And what you want to do is make sure that there should be grooves cut in it. You can see it here. But if these little pieces didn't come all the way out, you just want to pull them out and then flip this guy under and back. So each of these little hangers is what I call them. You want to make sure it looks like this. Oh, and there's these little triangle holes on each of the flaps. You just want to make sure any loose material is taken out. So once you do that, then we're actually going to start sticking things together. And the easiest way to do it is to kind of sit on one end and hold up one side. And you see that there's tape on one side and not on the other. So you kind of hold it in the position with one hand and then pull this release liner off. And once that is off, then you're going to want to just make sure it's lined up and you can see the holes in there. Everything's lined up. And just stick it down. Where it gets tricky is on the last two. Because of the angle, it makes it a little hard to close that last side. Oh, I missed a dot. So once it starts getting actually assembled, it's a little more difficult. So you just want to make sure that the seam is together before you start putting the tape, or before you pull the tape liner off. Make sure that's lined up. Okay. It's important that you have both flaps in, because if you stick one down, you can't get to the other one. So just make sure that you have both sides folded in before you take off the first tape liner. So, side one. And it's at such a tight angle that you can really just kind of push down and get it in place. And the left side. Okay. Alright. Okay, so now that this is put together, we need to put in the security clips, which are the Christmas tree spikes in the red bag. And this is kind of hard to get to, but you should be able to do it. Oh, there are also the banner hooks in here, and you should have 6 of these. 2 for each banner. And those are really small, so you might want to put them back in the bag until we're ready for those, so you don't lose them. And you're going to take one of these and you're going to stick it in that hole that you cleared earlier. And it's a little awkward getting in, but it does work. And this just makes sure that the tape doesn't pop off at any point. Now that all the Christmas tree spikes are in and the valance is assembled, we're going to move on to the dowels and getting those in place. The easiest way I found to do this is you're going to take each of the small valves that does not have an eyelet in it and run this cable through it, and this is how you're going to hang your triptych display. So each one gets a cable through it. And it's kind of hard to keep these together, so use one of the pair clips just to keep it in place while we're working. Oh, and you're also going to need one around the dowel. So I think it's easiest just to put it on now than trying to get to it later. So this is what it should look like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it into the hangers that we folded over earlier. So you take each dowel, and you get the idea once you see it in here. That you're going to shove this little piece into that end, and this little piece into this end. I want to make sure that the cable is facing the opening so it doesn't pull this little piece out. Okay? And then undo that top clip and feed each piece through the corresponding hole. And then redo the clip on the other side. Which might be easiest if you stand it up. So that's what it should look like on the outside, and this is what it's actually going to hang from on the ceiling. And you just kind of want to make sure that that's even and in the center. So you're going to do this for both sides. Okay. Now that the piece is assembled, we just need to put it up on the ceiling. And this is where you're going to need a helper, because you just want to make sure it doesn't bang against your ladder while you're hanging it. So you're going to take your ceiling clips, these, and they just wrap around any ceiling grid, put it at an angle, and then lock it into place. And make sure you hear that snap to make sure it's in there. And then take, if you can't reach it, make sure your helper's handy so they can hand you the first side. And have them hold the loose end so it doesn't bang against your ladder. What you do is enclose it around the loop of the ceiling grid, and then move your ladder and do the second side. Okay, last step is you're going to hang the banner rod, and using the pair clips, all the ones you have left, you're going to put one on each end with the small end facing up on both ends, and then the other 6 just loop around the center part. Now getting the dowel rod in there is a little bit tricky because of that angle. Adjust the ladder to where you can get to it. And you just kind of have to angle it up like that. And then you're just connecting the 2 clips together. So the one that you have around the small dowel is going to connect to this large dowel. Just connect to that. Again, you just want to make sure that all of the clips are locked in place and that your valance is hanging semi-level. So these little guys are going to kind of space out, and this is what the banners are going to hang from. I have 3 banners, 2 that look alike, and 1 of the Christmas banners in the center. And this one does go in the middle. These 2 go on the outside. And the rounded corners, of course, are going to go down. Take your banner hangers. These have a little grippy center on them. And pop that open. and then just line it up to the top. Like that, and lock it into place. Okay. And that's all 3. So now you need these little bitty clips. And there should be 6 of them. And you need 2 per banner. So what you're going to do is, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but there's this little bitty groove at the top, and it corresponds with this clip. And you pop one in at each corner, like that. Okay, now you're ready to hang the banners. And I guess you just put one end in each of these clips. Make sure that all the clips lock. Don't want these falling off. Kind of wiggle